Today is Wednesday, March 27. I'm Pastor Anthony, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Today is the 37th day of Lent, Wednesday of Holy Week. I invite you to attend to what the Spirit is saying through the Scriptures today. Our first reading comes from Psalm 88, verses 15 to 18. From my youth I have suffered and been close to death. I have borne your terrors and am in despair. Your wrath has swept over me. Your terrors have destroyed me. All day long they surround me like a flood. They have completely engulfed me. You have taken from me friend and neighbor. Darkness is my closest friend. From Isaiah 63, verses 2 to 6. Why are your garments red, like those of one treading the winepress? I have trodden the winepress alone. From the nations no one was with me. I trampled them in my anger and trod them down in my wrath. Their blood spattered my garments, and I stained all my clothing. It was for me the day of vengeance. The year for me to redeem had come. I looked, but there was no one to help. I was appalled that no one gave support. So my own arm achieved salvation for me, and my own wrath sustained me. I trampled the nations in my anger. In my wrath I made them drunk and poured their blood on the ground. Revelation 14, verses 18 to 20. Still another angel, who had charge of the fire, came from the altar and called in a loud voice to him who had the sharp sickle, "Take your sharp sickle and gather the clusters of grapes from the earth's vine, because its grapes are ripe." The angel swung his sickle on the earth, gathered its grapes, and threw them into the great winepress of God's wrath. They were trampled in the winepress outside the city, and blood flowed out of the press, rising as high as the horse's bridle for a distance of 1,600 stadia. Our Gospel reading from Luke 22, verses 60 to 68. Peter replied, "Man, I don't know what you're talking about." Just as he was speaking, the rooster crowed. The Lord turned and looked straight at Peter. Then Peter remembered the word that the Lord had spoken to him. "Before the rooster crows today, you will disown me 3 times." And he went outside and wept bitterly. The men who were guarding Jesus began mocking and beating him. They blindfolded him and demanded, "Prophesy, who hit you?" And they said many other insulting things to him. At daybreak, the council of the elders of the people, both the chief priests and the teachers of the law, met together, and Jesus was led before them. "If you are the Messiah," they said, "tell us." Jesus answered, "If I tell you, you would not believe me, and if I asked you, you would not answer. But from now on the Son of Man will be seated at the right hand of the mighty God." Join me in prayer. We say, Lord, that the night is always darkest before the dawn. In Psalm 88, we find the sheer hopelessness of that darkness that can, in some seasons of our lives consume us. Yet outside the city walls on Good Friday, you placed not us betrayal-prone disciples, nor the peoples of a sin-broken world in the winepress of your wrath, but instead Jesus. And by his wounds we are not only healed, but brought back to light and life, as far as the infinite mercy of his healing blood flows. Thank you, Lord, for this surprising reversal.